Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Ravens Call. Again, I'm your host, Tyler Cameron. Don't know what the podcast consists of? You can go to my 1 minute intro video explaining the podcast. Just follow along by the week basis. This podcast is available on Spotify, YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts. You can find links to all those, each of the streaming services, or you can look up The Ravens Call podcast on Instagram. On that note, hope everyone is having a great Wednesday and ready to listen to some exciting NFL and Baltimore Ravens news. All right. So let's get into what I kind of had known was going to happen for the Super Bowl, which was the Eagles and the Chiefs winning. Now, is this the Super Bowl everyone wants to see? Absolutely not. Is it the most deserving? Absolutely not. Um, the only reason that I would want the Eagles to win is for Saquon Barkley's sake, because he had to live with the torture for the Giants. But everything else, I don't think that the Chiefs deserve it. I don't think that the Eagles deserve it either. I just don't. Maybe the Eagles a little more, but the Chiefs are 15-2, but they're by far a team that shouldn't even been in the playoffs type of scenario. They're very good at just kind of getting by, just barely, and it sucks because they're a good team. Are they a great team? Absolutely not. They're a good team, a decent team that knows how to win games. But when certain aspects of the game change because of the refs call, that's what everyone argues. They're just more favorited by the refs. It's not that the refs do help them a little bit, but it's because of when they help them. They don't help them on first down. They help them with crucial calls. Against the Texans, there was 3 calls that were made on third down plays that changed the game, that gave them that first down. Yes, the Chiefs capitalize on those penalties. They do. They are very good. You have to play almost perfect against the Chiefs, and that's because they're a good team, you know? But are they a great team that just overpowers and just knows how to win? No. They know how to win, yes, but they don't know how to win the right way of saying, I'm the better team. We deserved it. In that game, they really didn't. Eagles really did. Let's go over the Eagles Commanders game. Um, for me, Jade Daniels, I know they lost a lot by a lot, but again, in your first year as a quarterback to go to the NFC Championship game, it's a bright future for this team. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be excited to play for this team. Jade Daniels, 29 of 48, 255, a touchdown and a pick. 3 fumbles lost. That kind of is crucial for them. But, decent game from them. The main reason why I don't want the Eagles isn't because of anything. It's because I don't want the narrative that just because if let's say the Eagles win the Super Bowl, I do not want to hear from Eagles fans or any fans thinking that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Lamar, a better quarterback than Josh Allen, better quarterback than even Joe frickin' Burrow, which I'm a Ravens fan. I don't want Joe Burrow to be good, you know, but he is. And he earns my respect because he is a good quarterback. But to say because if he wins the Super Bowl, he gets a Super Bowl ring, that he's better is ridiculous. This is the first game in I believe 3, maybe 4 weeks that Jalen Hurts has thrown over 200 yards. It's because all he had to do was carry it with Saquon. I mean, that's what they did for most of the game, and then they just started throwing it. And what does he do? He just throws the deep ball to A.J. Brown because that's what A.J. Brown does. But can I say that Jalen Hurts is elite? No. Can I say that Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback? Yeah, he's a decent quarterback. He's not great and by any means. He's great. He's good at running the ball. Awesome. Yeah, the tush push really helps. That's the only thing that keeps his stats alive. Because, I mean, let's look at his season. Let's look at the stats here. Barely hits over 3,000 yards. The 2022 season, he had a really good season. That's the one time. But last season, he played terrible. And this season, he had 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Rushing the ball, 14 touchdowns this year. I mean, for me, I just don't. He just doesn't earn my respect that much. And I get it. Everyone's going to say, well, he got to the Super Bowl twice, and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and all those other guys, like, they couldn't do it. If the Eagles were to go to the AFC and have to play in our playoffs, and we had to play in theirs, I think we would easily get into the Super Bowl. Very easily, might I add you. The AFC has been very dominant for the past decade. I mean, actually for this century almost pretty much, because it's either been, really the Patriots, Colts, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Chiefs, like the Ravens at one point. Like, there's not, the Eagles, yeah, they had a Super Bowl. They get one of those upsets here and there, but are they the best team? No. The best teams are the ones that didn't convert on the day. And so, is this the Super Bowl rematch we wanted? No. Is this the Super Bowl we're going to get? Yep. Am I watching this game? Yes, but I'm watching it just because it's the last time I'll get to watch football for a while. And it sucks because it's two teams I could care less who wins. If the Eagles win, awesome. They finally give Saquon. It'll be a little bit happier because Saquon got something out of this. If the Chiefs win, it doesn't really matter at all. It doesn't add more to anyone's legacy at that point, besides Andy Reid's. Patrick Mahomes is still the second greatest of all time, and he's going to stay there forever because, again, anyone can say what they want. Even if he ties every record with Tom Brady, guess what? Tom Brady beat him twice. And supposedly during that time, Patrick Mahomes was in his prime. So I don't want to hear anyone say anything. He whooped him twice. One in the Super Bowl, and then one in the AFC Championship game, which he then went to the Super Bowl and won. So goes to show who's really the best, and I'm not trying to discredit both these teams. It's just I wanted a reason to want to watch the Super Bowl, to root for a team, and I can't root for either of them. I don't think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback at all. He's not up there in the tiers. And anyone can say, well, he's made it there, so it must. No, Eagles defense is a top tier team. Their run game is primordially their factor. If Saquon Barkley were to have under 50 yards a game, they would lose every game. I can book it. All Jalen Hurts does is throw it up to A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown's going to catch it because he's very elite. He's elite. Saquon Barkley's elite. Jalen Hurts is the only thing that will hinder them. They scored 55 points. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but Washington just wasn't built for this scenario. They've never been here in a while. So, but again, for Washington to have gotten this far in Jaden Daniels' rookie year it's so amazing to me, and I'm so proud of them. Hoping for the best for them. It was a good learning experience, and they're gonna be back here. Now we're gonna go on to the shit show game that everyone knew that the Chiefs would keep the game close and then squeak out a win, which they did. Josh Allen played well. James Cook played well. They did all they could. Mahomes, 18-26. It is what it is. Lost the fumble. That's about it. Let's check penalties because that's just how it goes. 5 penalties for 21 yards, 6 penalties for 48 yards. So they tried to keep it close so that it looked good. But there was a lot of missed calls in that game, and then that controversial call. Where is it? It's shocked. I'm shocked that they don't have it. It's probably because they don't want to have it. So Um, honestly, we knew that this was going to happen, and it sucks for me as a Ravens fan because it's like I know for a fact we could have beaten Kansas City this time. We were a much better team than we were week one. They are a much worse team than they were week one. They probably played the best that they've ever played in week one. You could say what you want, do what you will, but I knew that the Bills would not be able to beat the Chiefs. I was rooting for it. I was hoping for it, but I expected the worst, and that's what happened. So, not shocked by this outcome. It sucks because it's like the Bills fans were saying a bunch of other stuff about how, Chiefs fans are better and all this kind of stuff. Well, Bills Mafia, we love you, but you are always the team that ends up the same way you did in the 90s. You're just not good enough. And it sucks because I like Josh Allen. I think he's a great quarterback. But he can't beat the Chiefs. Now, if I had what I wanted, it would have been if I could have played I would have liked the Chiefs to have played us in the divisional. Bills play the Texans, and then the Ravens and the Bills can go sort it out in the AFC Championship game. That's what I would have loved. Because even if the Bills beat my team, yes, I'm going to be very upset. But the Bills can finally get over that hump. Because all I'm going to hear is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They're playoff chokers. They can't do this. They can't do that. And so was Peyton Manning at the start of his career, and then he ended up being really great. So, it's going to motivate him, but it does suck that we couldn't play the Chiefs because I know we could have beaten the Chiefs. We're different. We're just different than they are. I'm sorry, Bills, but you're not us. And I'm not discrediting the Bills on the fact that they're not Super Bowl contending team. They are. But if they play the Chiefs, they can't beat the Chiefs. We can. We can beat the Chiefs, and then you guys play another team. We'll go round on round again. The Bills beat us. Did they win the game because they won every facet? No. We shot ourselves in the foot like we always do. That's why I've always said, if the Ravens play the Ravens way, we can beat any team in the NFL. By far. But if we shoot ourselves in the foot, guess what? We're going to lose. So that's why I say the Bills and the Ravens, like the best teams aren't even in the Super Bowl. Those were the best teams overall. But yeah, I'm tired of seeing Kansas City on top. I really do appreciate the Patriots dynasty a lot more. It's just because they had more class. They had the ability to win because they weren't always the better team, but they knew how to win and they knew how to play the game right. Travis Kelce's he can taunt, he can push off whatever he wants, and he gets the calls. I mean, he taunted during the Bills game and then flopped, and the other guy got a penalty when Mahomes scored the touchdown. Only he can do that. You give 31 other teams, that doesn't happen. Mahomes he's played like shit all season. Like, let's look at the numbers of how good he's been. Look at this. 2018, amazing. 2020, amazing. 2021, 2022, amazing. The last 2 years, he's played terrible. He's just dropped insurmountably. And it's because he doesn't really have to try. Defense will help him there. Travis Kelce hasn't had a 1,000-yard season the past 2 seasons. Just diminished and dropped. So it's tough. I mean, that's why I will die on the hill to say that Patrick Mahomes will always be second to Brady, and Travis Kelce will always be second to Rob Gronkowski. Fight me tooth and nail. I'm a Ravens fan, and I'm going on that hill. The Ravens could have had a couple more Super Bowls if not for the Patriots. So, it is what it is. But next season for my team, we'll get there. But Super Bowl is set. The Chiefs versus the Eagles. Let's go see who's favored really quick so I can get this over with because I hate this segment. I want to talk NFL to you guys and everything, but I can't stand watching these teams, knowing that they're not the best teams. They're not the most deserving of it. Kansas City's favored by 2. Yeah, Kansas City's probably going to win because the narrative is going to point in that direction for it, or they'll do an upset to think that they aren't scripting it, which it doesn't matter. I'm hoping that after this season, Chiefs and Eagles don't see the light of day in the Super Bowl ever again. We need new teams. We don't need dynasties. We just need new teams because we're wasting potential with other people based on a narrative. Patrick Mahomes he's not even in the top 10 of quarterbacks of the past 2 seasons. Travis Kelce hasn't been a top 5 tight end past 2 seasons. And I'm not saying it's based on talent, but it's based on team. They haven't even been the best 2 teams. So, but it is what it is. Hats off to them. You go do what you need to do, but I'm not too happy to be watching this game. But that's kind of it for the NFL segment. It's kind of more scarring because I don't want to really talk about it. I didn't watch either of these games, shockingly enough, and I've loved football for many, many years. I've loved it all my life, and I couldn't stand to watch either of these games because I knew what was going to happen before it did. I know that Kansas City's going to win off of bullshit calls, kick a field goal, and then it's going to come down to the last drive, and something's going to happen. You know. And then for the Eagles, the Eagles will be in it because it makes the narrative even that much better. A repeat. What do you know? So, good on them. But next year, I do not want to see the Chiefs and Eagles. And I want the Ravens, when we play them, I don't want to win. I want to destroy them, to show them they will never be as elite as they used to be. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The Eagles win. The only person I'm happy for is certain other people, but Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, all those kind of guys. But Jalen Hurts, I'm not really happy for because he's not deserving of that repertoire. He reminds me like Eli Manning and like Phillip Rivers. Like they don't really deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but they're just there because they have to be. So, but now let's go on to the team you know and love, the Baltimore Ravens. All right, so we're back on the kind of segments where we're going to be talking about certain things happening around the Baltimore Ravens news. Just because, I think it's towards that time where it's still a little sore to talk about the game and to talk about everything. I know that there's a Hard Knocks episode. I don't watch it strictly because I can't muster up the courage to. I don't want to see Lamar like that. I mean, Lamar has been through hell, and it's funny because everyone's like, well, he'll win MVP. He doesn't care. He stopped caring years ago about the MVP. Lamar wants a Super Bowl ring. That's all he wants. If it's one, he would sell his 2 MVPs for a Super Bowl ring. I know he would. He'd sell one for the chance to go to the Super Bowl. So, but I saw this article and it was really nice to see. So, former Baltimore running back, this J.K. Dobbins, makes a candid Lamar Jackson statement. He talks about how, he called Lamar Jackson a legend and the best person in the world because of just how he plays on and off the field. He wants the ring so bad he couldn't care less about being MVP. He said he didn't want to watch the Hard Knocks because he didn't want to see Jackson in pain following the loss. That's just kind of one of those things where it's nice to see that he's saying that about Lamar because it shows that Lamar is a team player. He does not care about individual accolades. All he wants is that Super Bowl ring. He, Josh Allen, are the most deserving of that Super Bowl ring because they've worked their asses off to get there, played amazing ball, put the team on their back, and they just did it. So That was one of the stories I thought about. I saw this uh, one before about how there's one free agent that the Ravens can't afford to lose. And I'm hoping that I haven't read the article yet, but I'm hoping by the picture this is who they're talking about, which is, yeah, it is Arjarius Washington. I do believe we should keep him. I do believe he's perfect for the role because how I see this, right, is if we keep Arjarius Washington, which, he's not going to get a huge pay cut because he didn't have like the best of years. So he's not going to get a huge payday to where we can pay for him. Put him in there. We need a veteran safety to where we can get Kyle Hamilton to play in the middle, to be able to go one-on-one in coverage, to be able to blitz when needed, to kind of be a substitute linebacker, in all honesty. And I think that that's perfect for us to be doing that. So it'll really give our defense a lot of ability. And that's what our GM said, you know. So I'm very excited to see that. We are talking about Ronnie Stanley. He did make the Pro Bowl, so his price is going to go up. And that's up to him. I would like Ronnie Stanley back, but I'm hoping he's going to take a pay cut because if you want to win, if you want to be a part of the Super Bowl winning Ravens team, hopefully at some point, you got to do what's best for the team. We're going to restructure as much as we can, but it's tough because Ronnie Stanley had a really great year. I'm just really hoping that he sees it that way. There's some people that said that the Chiefs would want him, and if Rodney Stanley goes to the Chiefs, I don't know how I'm going to be. I'm very upset because, like, why is it that we keep going back, so to speak? Why is it everyone goes to the rivals? Patrick Queen did it. Geno Stone did it. Like, why? You guys both didn't have great seasons. So it shows you were only a product of our system. So I don't want to hear anything about that. So really hoping that we can get Stanley. I do think that this is spot on by this pundit saying that Arjarius Washington should be a huge piece that we can't afford to lose. And I do believe that verbatim. Next, we're going to kind of talk about the mock draft here because I saw something interesting in the essence of for our pick at 27, they think that we should take a tackle. Now we have Rosengarten, right? I don't want to lose Stanley, but I don't want to pay that much for him because we have other guys we need to be signing. Our draft focus needs to be on defense. Like this edge here, Georgia here, perfect. Just looking at edge defenders and stuff like that, I really think that I like Mikael Williams. Stewart's pretty good, but there's just a lot here at this edge 4 guy. And he's from Georgia, so he's played in those big games. He knows the systems. I just think for us, it's the best thing for us when it comes to because we just need explosive guys, and we can have them learn from that. Let's go up to the Broncos. Broncos taking a tight end, I don't like that. Honestly, the main reason I want the Broncos to need to get veterans because they have a lot of rookies. They need guys that are veterans that can improve. But that will have to kind of depend on what goes on from there. Now, let's look at some other stuff here for the Ravens because there's just a lot to go off of. Let's look at their biggest offseason questions, actually. What do Ravens need to get over the hump? For us, it's for us to get over the hump, we just have to get guys that are really Ravens style football. I'm hoping Pat Ricard comes back. I think he's huge for the run game. Helps Derrick Henry a lot. We have a really deep roster. 11 draft picks, which would be good. We do not have to make huge changes. The main thing we need is to make sure that Rodney Stanley is okay here. Rodney Stanley's fine. He can. Patrick McCrary, I don't know how to say his last name. That's how much I don't care. I don't really care for him. Don't need that. I'm just really hoping that Rodney Stanley understands the impact of this team and understands that we're trying to build that team. We are so close to being there, and I want you to be a part of it. I didn't like him at first, but man, after the season, he's super reliable. We have Rosengarten now, where it's like we have the perfect tackles in place for that. So really hoping that Rodney Stanley, comes back, gives us a little bit of breathing room for some cap space there, because there are some free agency guys that we need to get. One thing that has been hinted that I'd be so happy for is Jair Alexander. So he's a cornerback from Green Bay. I don't think he wants to be in Green Bay anymore. And we have 11 draft picks. I think we can give up a decent one to get him, because Stevens is gone. If Stevens is not gone, everyone will riot in the streets in Baltimore. So he's most likely gone. If you put Jair Alexander, Wiggins on the corners, Marlon Humphreys at safety, and then you get at slot, you get Kyle Hamilton, another safety, to where he can play the middle field. We have all the weapons we need to do that. Then we're training rookies in the edge to get to the pass rush, for bolstering the line. We're set right there. So really hoping for some good stuff there. A lot of people keep saying that there's a corner that we're going with, and I don't like getting another corner. I don't. We got Nate Wiggins. We're good. You can get a corner in the second round if you need to. Okay? I don't know. You can maybe get safety, but it's like, we got Nate Wiggins. We're good. We do really good at getting first round picks to just succeed, which is awesome. We got Nate Wiggins, we got Rosengart, we got Flowers, we got Kyle Hamilton, we got Linderbaum, we got Bateman. I mean, Bateman, not as much, but now, such a great thing. And I'm so happy to be talking about Bateman this offseason, because I said at the start of the season, he needed a breakout, and God dang it, he did it. Kyle Hamilton and Linderbaum both available for extensions. I don't know if there's anything else that these both need to do to be set for life, though. I think Kyle Hamilton and Linderbaum are going to be good for that. Let's look at what Eric Costas said about some free agents. Costas expressed his belief in Andrews, Humphreys, and Tucker, which will remain on the team. That's good. We don't need to really make cuts, which is nice. All right, let's talk about this, and then we'll look at our free agent list. How about that? So, what he said about Stanley and McCurry was, we're looking into what we can do. So, I mean, pretty much what he's stating is, like, we do have a lot of veterans here. I do think Stanley's very good. We just do need to make sure that we can kind of provide for ourselves and not have a setback like we did at the start of the season. They're talking about how maybe flipping Rosengarten, but it's like, dude, just keep him on the right side. He's doing well. Pat Ricard's coming back. Brandon Stevens, leave my freaking team now. You are so terrible. I don't care. I don't. Like, we can find someone better for cheaper there, but let's look at the free agency list. All right, so some free agents. Aguilar, gone. Ford, gone. Cleveland, gone. Harrison, maybe stay. Hardy, I want him on punt return, because Steven Sims, I want him gone. Josh Johnson, fine. Josh Jones, I don't know. He could be someone that we kind of flip there, but I don't really want that. McCreary gone, Mullins gone, Stevens, yeah. Wallace, I need back. Need Wallace back. Uh, Stanley need back. Marcus Williams can freaking leave. Darius Washington needs to come back. So we have about 17 million in cap. We can clear some more with contract restructuring. So it'll be tough for us here. You know, Stanley's stuck with the Ravens. He's been with us the entire way. I think we can keep him that way. You know, I'm hoping that he gets a new deal based on his age. He understands that, hey, like if you want to win a Super Bowl, man, we want you here, but we need to keep some cap space flexible. Pat Ricard definitely needs to come back. He wants to retire a Raven. Deservingly so. Let's see what they say about Brandon Stevens. That's funny how they're talking about how it's tough to see how Baltimore would trade both him and White, who they traded for at midseason. Yeah, it's probably because we don't want him. So they think, you know, I don't think he's with this. Yeah, he's not fully a starter, so we'll have to see there. Top needs, left tackle. Yeah, I think that if we can get Stanley, that'd be awesome. I don't want to draft another rookie. Like, I don't want a young tackle. I don't care. Like, it's just, we're in a win now scenario. We have limited time on the clock with Derrick Henry, with a lot of these guys. We do have a young team. I get that. But at the same time, too, we're not trying to just win one and be done. We're trying to be in contention every year. So safety for us, I think that's a good position for us to be having, in all honesty. For safety, it's because, yeah, Williams is gone. That's fine. We can have Hamilton and Washington. If we can get another person in there to fill the void, Hamilton can be free to roam the field and do whatever he needs to. Cornerback, Stevens and White, don't really need them. Nate Wiggins is really good. Humphreys, I'm really I don't think we're going to release him. I know for a fact that's not a good idea. You know, he is a great cornerback that needs to retire a Raven. And so having him would be huge. It is just a matter of, are we using trades or are we using signings to do this? And I think we can get some good trades in here because we do have the cap space and the draft picks to do that. So, you know, I'm very excited to see what we do this offseason. Hopefully we make the right moves because I don't want to be, I want to get to the AFC Championship game, but I want to win the AFC Championship game. I want to go to a Super Bowl. I want to be able to sit down next year and say, my team's in the Super Bowl. Because no one will object to that. But I'm going to look over the Broncos a little bit here. See what they got in store. Because for the Broncos, the tight end just doesn't make any sense. I just don't know who they would draft really from here. You know, this wide receiver is really good. So, you know, maybe draft him instead of a tight end and go out and sign a tight end, in my opinion. But let's see. Sanders going to the Giants. Ward. Travis Hunter going to the Titans. I feel bad for Travis Hunter going to the Titans because nothing's going to happen with that. Cam Ward going to the Browns. That's fine. I'm hoping the Titans actually pick Hunter. I don't want Hunter to play against this because I want Hunter to have a good career. If he goes to play for the Browns, you're going to have to go up against the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals. You're not going to win that. So, well, you know, could have talked more about the Broncos, but right now, we're still in the nitty gritty of things. And once the offseason is really getting going, then I'm going to start talking more about that. But, you know, I think that's good enough about the Ravens talk and good enough for the NFL talk for now. So let's move on. As clock winds down, another Riveny episode. I just want to thank you guys all for listening. Again, podcast will be live every Wednesday at 12 I'll make sure to post something on my Instagram page. Podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, so you can make sure to like and subscribe on whatever platform you prefer there. I'm going to try to be integrating between Ravens and Broncos stuff as well as NFL. It's just mainly because I do have a lot of Bronco fans out there, that have been asking me questions about. Let's talk about some Bronco stuff, and we'll go from there. I really think that it's going to be a good offseason for both the Broncos and the Ravens. So they're very good and exciting stories to talk about. Can't wait to talk to you guys about some free agency stuff going forward. But yeah, I'm excited for the offseason because after that, there won't be any more Chiefs talk for a while. So, and I'm pretty sure whatever happens, Travis Kelce's too washed for this shit. So, but yeah, if you have any other questions or you want me to talk about anything more in depth, have any questions about players, teams, whatever, feel free to comment. I will make sure to bring those up. Also, all the music and sound is provided by my brother-in-law, Justin. So, Justin, thank you for that. Well, Raven Station, thanks again for joining me on this episode. Until next time, stay fierce, stay loyal, and keep rooting for that purple and black. I'll see you next time on The Ravens Call.